अरे भाई ये कॉन्क्लेव क्या है, कुछ ऑफर करने वाला है क्या मर्ज करने के लिए? सो द बॉटम लाइन इज आई सेड लेट मी स्टार्ट विद व्हाट आर द टू ऑब्जेक्टिव्स ऑफ दिस नेक्स्ट कॉन्क्लेव. This actually started strangely enough last year in December. In December, as we were coming out of the pandemic, I started getting calls from a lot of our partners, our competitors, you know, multi-system operators, digital platform operators, our own joint venture partners who are here today, is what is the future of this industry? Where are we going? We keep on hearing, you know, articles about it, etc. What is happening? So I mentioned, oh, we're launching one digital. It's India's first combo. Then 3-4 months ago, I got a call again saying, you know, what is this next Sky-Fi? Y'all are doing broadband over satellite. What is it? So I kept on getting calls from multiple partners. I call them partners because even though they are competitors, even some of you, I mean, a lot of you are competitors here, the fact remains that all of us are responsible for taking this industry up. That is something that we have to accept. So I kept on getting this call, right? Thank you. I kept on getting these calls and I said, listen, it's a good idea. I had a chat with Roos, our chief operating officer. And I said, you know, Roos, I'm getting these calls. People want to know about this business. What should we do? And Roos and another colleague, Amar, who unfortunately is not here today, our CFO, said, listen, why don't we organize a meeting in Mumbai and get everyone here so we can explain everything at one shot. And then we presented it to our chairman, AP Hinduja, and he said, very good idea. Why don't you host them? You know, at the end of the day, he made one very important point, and it's something that the Hinduja group has. One of the principles is partnership for growth. And partnership for growth doesn't mean you have to be a partner. It means we should be able to work together for the betterment of each one of us and for the betterment of the industry as well.
So the report we published was on the role of sports broadcasting on TV, and while that is a subset, the main idea is that TV as a medium is the biggest entertainment medium in the country, and that has not abated even given the rapid rise that OTT has seen in the COVID times.
Exactly. You know, when it comes from credible people like you know, we feel very good. The only opinion or my thought process is that, you know, today broadband is taken like must have.
Water. Essential services. Yeah.
So when we compare, you know, OTT versus, let's say, TV subscription, we cannot factor in loading, or we cannot load broadband on one side, because, you know, irrespective of whether you want to go for OTT or you want to have, you know, linear TV connectivity, you'll still have a broadband connection at home for many other applications and many other reasons. So that could possibly be.
But Prem, my point is, if that were to be the case, and you are absolutely right, for you and me, broadband is like water. We need it to live. Why would there be only 30 million connections, and why would there be 850 million wireless connections? You see the gap that is there in terms of broadband.
That I think is more to do with the, you know, the pace at which
we are raising, and obviously the fact that to actually have the right of way as far as broadband rollouts is considered, and the fact that you reach those consumers and actually convert those, that is not maybe cost effective for people. What people think and what telcos are thinking, that, you know, you actually give a 299 rupee pack and give 1.5 GB data every day, and people are satisfied with that. That is fine. That works for short form video consumption, that works for TikTok, that works for Instagram. But when you actually want to go and watch prime time stuff, right? When there is and we know, we used to say, and I'm not sure what the data is now, but we used to say that the average Indian TV viewer is a female. Because सारे serials सास बहू type बनते थे पहले, अब तो नहीं बनते हैं, but yeah, that is what is the viewer. So if she wants to watch 3 hours of content, and 3 hours of content if she wants to watch through Jio broadband, which gives a 1.5 GB data limit per day, that is not going to suffice. So broadband is essential for them. Broadband is essential, but the fact is, broadband is not as widespread as we think it is for us. Because if you go into tier 2 and tier 3 cities, for people, broadband is their phone only. So they'll do basic stuff on broadband. They'll surf, they will chat, they will use WhatsApp, they'll use YouTube, and that's about it. But if you want to watch content for 2-3 hours at a go, let's say in the afternoon and in the night, which is 7 to 11, the prime time, you would need something that gives you consistent throughput. And that consistent throughput is only through broadband, which is probably India. If you look at some of the developed countries and even the developing countries, India is amongst the poorest in terms of the penetration of broadband. So I would like to say that, for you and me, broadband is very essential, but this is not the mass story that is there in India right now.
So I think, I've got your point very rightly put. Maybe we can consider a differential of 300 rather than a 600 for a broadband.
I just considered 100 Mbps.
300 anyway, everyone would have, but somebody seriously viewing OTT content will have to.
But even in that case, if you look at it, right, if you want to watch Netflix on TV, if you want to watch Netflix on mobile, you pay $199 a month. That is $2,400 a year. But Netflix on TV is $499. $499 a month. And Netflix, I will not say Netflix is the number one platform in India, but for the cord cutters and for the ones who are seriously looking at it, it is a significant thing. So, yeah.
So I think from 2x all the way up to 3x frame is what the arbitrage literally is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to put some light on what he has said. He's absolutely correct. Since I'll just give a practical example to everybody sitting here. I started an OTT platform 2 years back. It's still running. So in my OTT platform, I got very little subscribers. Though in my cable, I had around 5 lakh subscribers. But in my OTT, when I started an OTT, I just got about 25,000 subscribers. And my TV channels that I own, my TV channels, I have about 2.5 to 3 million subscribers on YouTube. Okay, on YouTube. So what I did, with the greed that I'll get all my subscribers since it's on YouTube, I put that content on my OTT. But unfortunately, the people who were watching on YouTube, they never came and watched that on my OTT. I stopped it on YouTube. I didn't put the content there, which is very popular content in my region. But they declined to watch it on my OTT. And finally, again, I had to go back to YouTube and start it over there.
Put it there.
Because the monetization, little bit that whatever I was doing there was not coming here. Yeah. Then we realized that in OTT, to be very frank, only adult content runs. If you see any of this, only adult content runs.
Mukund?
So what happens? So what happens when we put one web series, where is the little bit of adult content, immediately people shift, into that. And suddenly we get about 80,000, 90,000, 1 lakh subscribers come in. But as soon as that web series ends, we see all the subscribers again going out of it.
Interesting.
So people who are watching on YouTube, they get free of cost. They don't want to spend 45 rupees also. Our OTT platform, our cost is 45 rupees a month. They don't want to pay 45 rupees also to watch their content because they get it free at YouTube. And even if we stop it there, then also they don't come here. So it means that from OTT, people who are watching TV, and TV is watched with the family, which on OTT you cannot do that. People, even if they get in OTT, if they get at a lesser cost, they will never, shift there.
Which is heartening
TV.
For us.
Yeah.
Which is heartening for us.
It's heartening for us. So TV is always going to stay. That's what with an example I wanted to elaborate.
Hello. Great. Thank you.
So people first think Metaverse is Meta, Facebook, Instagram, and that's Metaverse. Metaverse is a completely new way of internet. And just to tell you about the journey, and why is it so important now? I mean, people say it's the next new thing, and it is. And we believe that every business, every company is going to operate in the Metaverse. And you see our tagline says it's a Metaverse continuum.
We, as DPOs, we look after entertainment, right? Not just linear television, now broadband, OTT. And we have to look into the future about not just the changing demographics, the way people are consuming entertainment. And very much in a country like India, where a huge percentage of the population is below 25, we have to look at how we need to evolve going forward.
As the generation changes, the younger generation still craves a lot of entertainment, far more interactive entertainment, and participative entertainment than what all of us are used to sort of consuming, right? And that I think is a big difference from the way the younger generation looks at it.
Today you're seeing avatars and metaverse, all cartoony characters. It's easy to build 3D cartoon characters now. It's easy, but everybody wants a real you. Look at the avatars being a digital identity of you. It's representing you in the virtual space. It's getting more and more real. It's your persona that is coming in. So that's why, when I say I own something, who owns? It's going to be you in that virtual space who owns it, who's interacting with somebody else. But I would just open your mind, because I've gone through this whole transformation experience. When you have people with physical disabilities finding an avenue for being able to be free of the boundaries of physical space, for people to communicate across the world. And the metaverse can actually be boundaryless, even hierarchyless. Today,
data privacy important to your generation, because we hear a lot about Facebook and Meta, and everyone worried about data privacy, single app, what are they going to learn about me and profiling. Is your generation cared? You said I share my password and share my apps with 5 friends. Is data privacy very important, or is just...
So sir, that's where we share our password and login with our closed ones, not with everyone, because we know that this person keeps my thing with himself and not sharing it to the other person. That's where you hesitate, and that's where you buy the plan which are actually limited to the people you want to share with. That's why we think that yes, data privacy is very important for us, because we share our content, we watch whatever we want to see, and if it goes to anyone, and I think that will be a harm to our privacy. You want to add something?
सर, इसमें मेरा एक पर्सनल ओपिनियन है. मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि डेटा प्राइवेसी इज थिंग दैट टू बी कंसिडर्ड, बट मुझे लगता है कि हम लोग लाचार हैं. मतलब इतना डेटा रीड किया जा रहा है कि फिर मैं और थोड़ा दे दूं तो कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा. मुझे ऐसा लगता है.
I completely agree with you. So I'm just trying to build the whole mindset, because Europe and all that, what will Meta do if people are profiling us, they'll send it. But I don't think in India we really care. ना एक और क्या फर्क पड़ेगा?
Ashwin, they don't mind even sharing their salary account password and
नहीं सर, उतने लाचार भी नहीं है.
उतना नहीं है सर.
Convergence is the key. If we look at in the past, we talk about whether it's coming to be India. I'm talking more particular about India as a region. We talked about the content, we talk about the industry, we talk about the e-commerce, we talk about a lot of other platforms which are now prevailing in the country. But how do we really reach to that stage? How do India poised to reach that stage is basically, I really like the 3 things which Vinci has really pointed out, 3 C's, which is connect, converge, and collaborate. This is the key. Until we do have the connectivity, we really can't reach to that stage. Until we do collaborate with each other, businesses together, we can't reach to the stage. And last is collaboration is the key.
Rural healthcare. Rural part. In rural India, we do not still have a connectivity as required. If we can leverage that connectivity, we can distribute the financial services, we can distribute education services, we can distribute the healthcare services, we can distribute an agriculture services. These are the 4 most important pillars which are required. And other than lot many transaction services, buying the tickets, watching the media, or buying on Amazon or e-commerce platform. So use that computing, connecting, eventually delivering what customer wants it to be.
In the past, you had your own branch staff walking into basis of cold call or basis certain offers, you go in there. That's changed, right? Today, you keep pushing data. Over the last 5-6 years, you will see you're flooded with cross-sell, upsell, so-called noise that you get onto your data. With the data, you're flooded. So, and then you click on something and you can get a good offer, you can go on it. So banks have started to morph themselves from being a pure play, I would say, banking entity to becoming a financial marketplace.
Okay.
So that's a big shift. And that means they are not only doing by themselves, they have started creating an ecosystem which is with partners and everyone putting together.
Right. Nowadays, it's a world of social media. Actually, many people have adapted to social media, and everybody wants the banking also to be like a social app itself actually. They want it to be quick, simple and easy to navigate and do their transactions, bank's transactions.
Yeah, right.
So that's how it. And like you rightly said, it's very challenging to have diversity and so many of variety of services. We as a bank are keen in getting more technologies and services which will help our customers to be getting more services which are online and digital enabled.
So all through the day, we've been, dwelling on emerging trends. We've been dwelling on broadband over satellite, enterprise, metaverse, etc. Now, the common thread that is running all across is change, constant change, evolution, shifting paradigms, new technologies, new products and services. Now, all this is great, but finally, from the business perspective, unless it actually reaches the end consumer, it doesn't work too well. So how do we reach it to the end consumer? Obviously, through our most valuable assets, which are our operators. Now, Next Digital has initiated Next Sangram. Now, what is Next Sangram? Next Sangram is a challenging initiative that we have undertaken to train operators pan-India. And what is the aim of the Next Sangram project? It's basically aimed towards turning cable operators into digital services providers, and hence digital champions of their communities.
If you go today and take all the market capitalization of the largest content production houses in the world, the best of the best will be Disney at, say, $150 billion, right? If you go and take the best pipes of the world, Comcast, Verizon, Vodafone, they're the distribution guys. The best of the best will be $300 billion. Okay, if you go and take Google and Microsoft, which neither have content, nor do they have pipe, their valuation is $1 trillion. So who's king? It's not content, it's not distribution either. The guy who owns the end consumer is king, clearly, coming from that, right? And therefore, whatever you can do, which will give you access to that last consumer, not just a pipe in the house, but his data, his spending habits, his consumption habits, and how that customer is evolving, what is his next need, and how can you serve that need, which is basically what Apple and Google have today. I think those guys are really king. So anything that you guys want to do in terms of building value has to be around consumer, is my feeling, because that's what seems to be driving the highest valuations today, obviously, because that drives highest ARPU.
Infra sharing was there because, they always want to save costs. There are huge investments, in terms of capex for this thing. So it's obviously there for the betterment of the industry. But more than this, on the partnership part, I would just like to, highlight one key thing here. Look at a company like Amazon. Everybody knows about Amazon. Everybody's there on the Amazon shopping app. Everybody has got that. Some people have got the Prime Video subscription as well, right? Even a company like Amazon today realizes the importance of collaboration. They have got Amazon Mini TV. They have got some 15, 20 apps under Amazon, Hoi Choi. So my point is that, for them, sky is the limit, right? You really have to, partner. You have to really, do alliances with a lot of people in the ecosystem to work for each other's strengths. And that's how things are going to be, no matter how big a brand you are. So similar kind of concept need to be followed by the MSO companies as well, which are so many, and this like really fragmented right now. So working to each other's strengths is a key over here.
Why nobody has invested in a great way in the Indian cable environment? We've had Warner, we've had lots of companies looking at the market, but they haven't done it so far. Because it's a fragmented, like he said, it's fragmented. Now, if you put up an united front and you put up that mass of numbers of subscribers, it could lead to a situation where in the beginning, it's relationships. This could be a great use case for the world, that India originated not equity relationships, but business relationships, which created mass.
Everyone, thank you very much for being here today. As I said at the beginning of this session, and first of all, I'm very happy that we've been able to stick to our schedule, even though we started a bit late. I think as Prem put it up, as crystal clear as could be, the time has come for all of us to really figure out how we're going to work together. I think the important thing that each one of you has to believe in is the 3 C's. You have to connect with your customer. You have to take the learnings from this conclave and connect with your customer. You have to be able to provide converged services to your customer because the customer is changing. The customer's needs are changing, the customer's wants are changing. But if you can change your approach from ARPU to share of wallet, don't look at individual ARPUs anymore. Look at how can you get a share of wallet, as those kids were pointing out, that they want one person, one company who can provide them multiple services. And the last, collaboration. Collaboration doesn't mean only with Next Digital. What I keep on telling people, and this is something I'm very proud to say because this is our philosophy even at the Hinduja Group, is I don't care if you don't partner with me, but partner with someone to be able to bring relevant services. Whether it is two multi-system operators coming together to deal with a regional customer requirement or a national customer requirement, no problem. The important thing is, this industry of ours has been built on a lot of blood, sweat and tears. We all know that. Many, couple of decades, we've all worked hard, we've built the connect. Don't let that be lost. We have built a great connect to the customer. Let us leverage that. Let us ensure that we build that relationship. Let us ensure that we improve our customer experience. Let us ensure that we're cognizant of what new technologies are and how it's going to change our lifestyle. And let us, most importantly, make this clear philosophy in our mind that we are here to stay. Our industry is here. We have the connect with the customer. If the customer wants, we have provided X. If the customer wants Y, we believe we can provide it either directly or through a relationship. With that, I'm very happy to thank you, everyone.